First of all, I really enjoyed all the talks so far, so thank you to all the speakers. Quite an eye-opening for me on how we all want to work together to bring everything together as well. With time, I'm not sure if I'm still allowed to say, but I'll try. Hola, buenos dias. I'm Tanu Sahnan. I'm head of engineering at the BBC. Today, I'm here to take you to the BBC's digital history journey from BBC Micro to AI. And to give you a sense of scale, BBC reaches over 450 million people globally every week. And within UK, 74% of adults visit BBC News weekly. So with that scale, with that reach, it matters most what we innovate, as it represents the audiences, but also how media is experienced worldwide. And before we go into the milestones and technology, I will like to share a personal story, the story of resiliency. It's been quite a career-defining moment for me at the BBC. So let's hear about that. This is World Cup 2022, England's opening game, a huge cultural moment for us. Millions of viewers tuned in. And just before the kickoff, our systems came under stress. So the traffic surged, what we had not modeled for. And I believe that's the unpredictability of the sport. You cannot rely on data that's 4 years old. The way the audiences and the world consumes digital content changes drastically in that time. So during the event, our teams scaled, made some tough choices to protect our audiences, and later on, we invested heavily in serverless architecture, removing the problem of scaling altogether. The results came earlier this year. During the World Cup women's game, England's final game, we ran the services seamlessly without the need of scaling. So I think that contrast tells a story. Resiliency isn't about surviving a crisis. It's about learning from it and building stronger foundations for your future generations. What really guided us through that World Cup moment was also the BBC values. Two of them really stand out for me. Trust. Even during immense pressure, we were able to put our audiences first. And one BBC, the engineering, operations, editorial, all the teams came together as one BBC. These aren't just words on the slides. They are literally the principles that we live and breathe to build and run technology every day at the BBC. And they have guided every chapter of the BBC's digital history as well. History is where I want to take you next. BBC's digital history journey is all about resiliency and reinvention. And that's why the scale of 450 million global audiences coming to us and over 74% UK adults coming to reach us every week. CFAX. At its peak, around 20 million people used it every week. CFAX gave the glimpse of internet even before internet was a thing. BBC Micro. We sold around 1.5 million units of it, putting computers in 80% of UK schools, inspiring generations of coders. iPlayer. When the world was still busy buying DVDs, BBC gave its audiences the ability to watch what they wanted and when they wanted. Today, we are streaming over 7 billion programs a year on iPlayer. BBC Olympics, that was a benchmark for live streaming. We served over 150 million requests during the game, creating a benchmark for live digital streaming. Sign-in, personalization, that's my area. This was a bold move, putting mandatory sign-in. When trust was under scrutiny on tech companies, BBC decided to go mandatory sign-in on iPlayer. Today, we have around 65 million registered accounts, building foundation of personalization and child protection. With all these milestones, like I said, it's been quite fundamental how we have used BBC values in it. BBC is always about innovating, but on its own terms. At heart of the BBC is our public service mission. We serve everyone, not just subscribers. We build and own much of our own technology estate. We do not outsource our sovereignty. Our engineers build on open source for our audiences. And that makes UK, and to some extent Europe, having an independent, trusted platform. And I believe that in doing so, for policymakers, it's resiliency, but for engineers, it's pride. We take a lot of pride in that. Innovation has always been in our DNA, CFAX to iPlayer to Olympics. But what makes our innovation different is our integrity. We have always built innovation as a responsible citizen. Carbon calculators for TV productions, BBC Verify to fight misinformation, accessibility championship, and our commitment to net zero. Looking forward to 2030, our product strategy is very ambitious, but very clear. We want to achieve 50 million weekly active accounts globally. And within UK, 80% of our UK audience is returning back every week. And I think how we want to achieve this is with 5 priorities: scale, personalization, innovation, resiliency, and inclusivity. And underneath these 5 priorities are the foundations that my area is focused on: trusted identity, simplified global platform, seamless sign-in, safeguarding child profiles, and giving audiences more data, more control on their data. And I think with that strategy, we want to make sure that BBC is not just relevant, but it's essential in digital-first world. I also believe achieving this strategy depends on how we use the most powerful technology of our time, AI. AI isn't a separate chapter for us. It's one of the enablers that helps us achieve our product strategy. For us, it's very simple. It's basically 3 things. We want AI to help us strengthen our efficiency, our creativity, and our responsibility across the BBC. First, efficiency. We want to automate repetitive tasks so our people can focus on what matters the most. A good example is local democracy reporting service. With generative AI, it helps reformat stories into BBC style, saving over 100 hours a day. Second is new capabilities. We want to use AI to help us personalize discovery, improve our accessibility, and create new formats that were not possible before. And third, responsibility. This is non-negotiable. We at the BBC have created AI principles, governance frameworks, and leading research into how AI represents the BBC in external tools. Everything we do is grounded with impartiality, inclusivity, and innovation. So for us, AI isn't about chasing trends. It's about using our technology responsibly. And with that, we have spoken about resiliency, we have spoken about strategy, mission, milestones, role of AI in shaping the future of the BBC. But excellence isn't something we are waiting for. It's already part of who we are today. Our proof is Emmy win this year. This is what happens when technology and creativity come together at the BBC. We set the global standard, and we provide you a trusted, innovative, world-class. That's the strategy for the BBC, and that's my time with you. Gracias.